Howdy. Welcome back to Dion Talk. Sometimes we are the reason we're not financially free, like we're in our own way. And on my channel, I try not to talk about things that I'm not good at. Like I don't give credit advice because my credit score is barely touching the 800 mark. If it was 830 or 840 and I knew really good strategies to get there, I would teach people how to do their credit scores. I don't. I don't teach people how to invest out of state at a distance. I don't teach people how to do BRRRR or flip. I teach people how to buy cash flowing assets that make work optional in 10 years or less. That's what I did. I started from a really bad position where I had a lot of bad debt that I didn't know about until the divorce, starting as a single parent with 3 kids, not making a lot of money. And in about 8 years, reached financial independence. I worked for 4 more because I really liked my job. But at the 12-year mark, I finally retired in July of 2022 because time freedom eventually won out even over a job that I liked. If that sounds like something you'd like to do, hit subscribe and check out some of my other videos. In this video, I want to cover 3 things that sometimes we do that will stop us from reaching financial freedom. And once you make the mental shift of looking at these things the right way, it gets a lot easier to actually reach financial freedom. First, I want to talk about something that for 40 years, I don't think I ever even thought of. And that's why I feel like I'm qualified to speak on the subject of things that are keeping us poor, because for 40 years, I don't think I ever had $1,000 in the bank. It wasn't until 40 that I started taking charge of my finances. And one of the first things I realized is, if you go up to almost any person and you say, how much do you make? It's like an icebreaker. It also lets us know if this is somebody we want to get advice from, or maybe give advice to. But most people would know. They would say, this much per hour. This is my salary. Here's how much I make per year. If in the FI community, you might have people say, my job pays me this much, my side hustle pays me this much, my passive income streams pay me this much. Like they know how much is coming in. It's exciting to make money. So we track it. In the FI community, financial independence, we talk about a freedom number. And you can always tell when somebody's a brand new investor because you'll say, what's your freedom number? They think they understand. So they give you a number. 5 million, 1 million, 250,000, 10 million, whatever their number is that in their mind makes sense that that's when they could retire. Maybe they've heard of the 4% rule and they're thinking 25 times their income or 25 times their annual expenses, whatever their thing is, they get to a freedom number. Once you've been in the FIRE community for a while, we realize a freedom number isn't a number. It is an amount of money that comes in every month that we don't have to sell our lives for 1 hour at a time. So if you ask somebody, how much do you make in the FIRE community? They're going to tell you all of their income streams. If you ask them what their freedom number is, they're going to tell you what their monthly income is that they don't have to work for. But think about this. How many people could you go up to right now and say, how much do you spend? And I mean on a specific topic. Like if you said your life depends on the answer, could you right now think of this? You, the person watching this video, could you tell me right now, how much did you spend in August or last month on food? And some people would say, well, I have the Mint app. Okay, does it track how much you shopped for in stores? How much of that food you threw away because you didn't end up using it? How many times you went out? Did that include the tip? When you go out to eat, do you take a car? How much fuel did you spend to get to the restaurant? All of the things that are involved in spending money on food, do you know that number? How much do you spend on your car? Most people could say, well, my car payment is this, or I paid all cash. Okay, insurance, fuel, maintenance, registration, all of these expenses that are happening because you own a car. Do you know the number? So when we talk about financial freedom, there are some numbers that are easy to track. How much you make. A freedom number might not be easy to get to the first time, but once you get the concept, it's actually kind of easy to realize you have the data. So that's the first thing I want you to focus on. 1, what do you spend? How much? And on what subject? Because until something is measured, it can't be improved. 2, this one took me forever to figure out because until we have this thought, this just seems normal. It actually seems normal for people who are financially free or are working on it still. But if you think of this and you focus on it, this will make your path to financial freedom so much easier. It's been over 10 years since I've watched a commercial, not even on the halftime commercials that come out during the sports ball game. I want to make sure that I'm only buying things that I need And if I want to buy something because I want it, I want an asset to pay for it, but I only want to buy my wants and my needs, not something I was tricked into buying by somebody who has a degree in marketing, years of experience, and uses specific things like the sound in a casino to make you feel like gambling, or certain images because sex and death sell, or some commercials even use timing to get your attention. And the third thing I want to talk about in this video that is possibly stopping you or slowing you down from reaching financial freedom at the least is impulse shopping. We used to say things in the dinosaur days like, when you go to a store, the end caps will get your attention, the ends of the aisles. They're actually people who study what is the easiest thing for you to pick up and purchase. When you stand in the checkout lane, even the self-checkout, there are things for sale. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry for the things that are for sale when you're standing in line. That's why stores don't open all the check stands at once. They actually want you to stand in line for a little bit, because the average person in 2020 was spending about $183 a month on impulse shopping. In 2021, that went up to $276. And in 2022, the average person is spending $314 a month on impulse purchases. It's almost like inflation is a thing. Now, we have one-click shopping on Amazon, Walmart.com, Best Buy online, all of these ways that you can buy things on the internet without having to leave your house using a stored credit card, because even the act of putting in the data to use the money on your credit card is too much work. We make it easier. They save our information so we can just click I want to buy, click the address I want to go to. Very easy to spend the money. That impulse buying can be costing you the cash flow from a rental every month. And someday, I'm going to make a video where I talk about issues and problems with reaching financial independence and not have a solution.
But not today.
Not today.
Today, I'm going to talk about the way that I overcame these and what made it a lot easier for me to reach financial freedom. That first one, about knowing how much we spend, you have the data, but look at all of it. You have cash receipts, you have credit card receipts, you have bank statements. Actually look at your information and figure out what you've been spending. And one of the things that I like to do is not have a budget. One of the really strong motivators for me to reach financial freedom is I don't want people telling me what to do. I don't even want me telling me what to do. And that's what a budget is. That's me saying, here's your limits. So instead of focusing on a budget, I reduced and then eliminated my largest expense, which was housing. I used the strategy of house hacking. First, I purchased a duplex, lived in one side, rented out the other, reduced my living expenses for housing from $1,500 a month down to $300 a month, basically adding $1,200 to my savings rate every month. And then I moved from the duplex into a fourplex, where originally when I first moved in, I was making $1,700 a month in profit while I lived there and renting out the unit from the duplex. That property was then cash flowing $800 a month. The one move from a duplex to a fourplex added $2,500 to my income. Now both properties are cash flowing more, and I'm even making more money. So it's like people say, time in the market beats timing the market. The longer you own the properties, the more you make. And second, to avoid those commercials, this is actually a pretty easy thing to overcome. For me, this was an easy one to overcome because when I started my financial journey, I was really struggling. Like I said, I found out about bad debt I didn't know existed until the divorce. I was raising 3 kids. I wasn't making a lot of money. So a lot of people talk about cut the cord, get rid of cable because you have all these streaming services. Well, before we had the streaming services, I literally cut the cord and didn't have cable. All we had at the house was internet, and back in the day, DVDs. No commercials, no TV, no cable for a few years. I was only buying the things I wanted or needed, not something I was tricked into buying by somebody who knows how the mind works and knows how to advertise to you. Now, today, I still don't watch commercials. Netflix, pay for the subscription that doesn't have commercials. I know they just came out with a cheaper one that adds commercials. Hulu, no commercials. HBO, no commercials. Amazon Prime, no commercials. Stay away from anything if it has a commercial. And if you're watching some show that you just have to watch and they start having commercials, hit mute. Don't watch the TV. Walk out of the room. It really is a simple mindset shift from going away from being a consumer to being an investor. Once you're an investor and you reach financial freedom, you can consume all kinds of things that other people trick you into buying. Try to avoid that. And that third one, and this is where I think I actually have a couple of golden nuggets to drop, impulse shopping. When you go into a store, have a list and stick to it. If you see something you really want, Either it better be on sale at a great discount, or you write it on your list and you think about it until the next time you're in the store to see if you still want it that much time in the future. Don't shop when hungry, like our parents probably told you. If you're hungry, you're going to buy everything. You might not ever eat it, but you're going to buy it. And when it comes to online shopping, here's a trick that I use. Select the item that you want to purchase, especially with one-click shopping, and it's very easy, and you can just have it in a day or two. Put it in your shopping cart on the website and don't buy it. I'm not saying you're not going to get it, because tomorrow you might decide you really didn't want it and it wasn't the right amount of money. But tomorrow, or in an hour, you're going to start getting emails because your information is being tracked. We saw you were looking at this item. Here's that item from other vendors at a better price, or a better version of the same item you were looking at. I actually just used this trick on November 12th in Fresno, California. Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time is putting on an event, and I'm going to be one of the presenters. So I'm going to go to California, which I can't believe I'm doing. I hate it. He tricked me somehow. Maybe he had a commercial on going to California. So I rented a vehicle because I'm also going to go see one of my brothers who lives in California for about a week. I went online, Travelocity, Kayak, all of the sites that you can go to book your travel plans, and looked at rental cars. And holy cow, within a couple of hours, I got an email where I could rent an SUV for $16 a day. The other ones I found were $48, $57 a day, midweek. But $16 a day, great deal, by using the shopping cart trick. Looked at them, booked the dates, looked exactly where I was going, what I wanted to rent, and then didn't purchase it. I hope you found the information in this video helpful. Let me know if you'd like to see more in this line, because I have several topics that I'd like to talk about on things that keep us poor. But one thing I learned while I was running the truck driving school I did for the last several years is that the average person can retain 3 facts out of a presentation. I've given you 3 to think about in this video. Thank you very much. I hope this video at least made you think. Until my next video, thanks for coming to my Dion Talk.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.